Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I am doing my October wrap-up part 1. So I have read 13 books. I have just had the most wonderful reading time so far in October. There's something about Halloween themed, mostly fantasy reading that just gets me. It's like fantasy or horror, and I'm here for it. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to talk about it with you guys. So obviously, the elephant in the room is that yes, I got a new wig. If you want to know why I wear wigs, the link is down below as always. This one I got from LaceFronts, Australia. I feel like a princess. I've just been honestly running around the house all day and saying like, oh my god, I look like a princess, like to my husband. I love it so much. But anyway, yeah, so other than that, let's just get into the books. So grab a coffee, grab a tea. I know that I have my coffee set up right here because I can't wait to talk to you guys about these books. There are so many amazing ones. Oh my god. Cheers to you. Let's get started. So first up is 7 Years of Darkness by You-Jeong, who is a female South Korean writer. And this was a buddy read with Alicia from Alicia Reads. I will leave her details down below. So we're following a young boy who is having kind of a tough time in life because his father was convicted of essentially mass murder, where he killed his wife and a neighbor, and then he flooded a dam so that it killed all the people in the village that lived below the dam. While I think the story itself was interesting, like the flooding of a dam I've never read before, there's also someone who dives in the dam, which flooded an old village to make the dam. So there's like a sunken village in the dam itself, which is so cool. The diving scene was absolutely epic. However, I think I had problems with characterization and delivery. Characterization and villainization of a few or one character in particular is just really face value villain. Like that character is the worst in every possible way. The other thing is the delivery. So large portions of the flashbacks are through a story. It's just told through kind of a very distanced and secondhand narrative. I think it would have been much, much more interesting if the book had been written then and then 7 years later. So ultimately I gave this 2.5 stars, and I think Alicia did as well, so I do not recommend it. Next up is one that is truly shocking to me, like bizarre. This is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Her writing style and my reading style, we do not go together at all. So there will be some slight action and then just huge paragraphs of info dumping. Like, why was it in there? It slowed everything down to the point where I was gonna DNF it. Like, the only reason I didn't is because I wanted to see what would happen. And this school is awesome, the characters are cool, the monsters are cool, and I realized I never told you what it's about. So this is a magic school where we're following Elle. Everyone is given like something they're naturally good at, and her thing that she's naturally good at is mass destruction. So every single spell she gets or lesson that she's taught can get turned to kill like millions of people or kill all the monsters or just like blow everything up. She never gets anything that's like just a little, she gets everything that's just a lot. And the school is one where if you can graduate and get out without dying, you win. Because mostly everyone just dies. So there's this whole thing about trying to kill all the monsters so that the graduating class can get out safely. And she pairs kind of up with this guy who is known as like the class golden boy, where his mission is like to kill all the monsters and protect other people, but he has no interest in like friendships, and he never is interested in anybody until he's interested in her. And I'm just gonna say, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. There was no build-up. It's such like insta love. I can't understand. She's prickly and mean, and he doesnon even talk that much. Like, I know I'm gonna get roasted. I know it, because this has crazy high ratings. This has 4.23 on Goodreads out of like 5,500 people. And I'm like, did we read the same book? Did we read the same book? What the heck is going on? I clearly do not recommend this, although it seems like a lot of people do recommend it. So take my word with a grain of salt, but if you, lovely viewer, and I have similar reading tastes at all, no, don't read it. No, don't read it. Next up is a book that I read for my mini burst of Frankenstein retellings. So if you want to see what I really think in more depth about the books, I will leave the link to that vlog down below. So this is Deeplight by Frances Hardinge. This was blurbed as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea times Frankenstein. And I would honestly say that that is a very accurate blurb. Very accurate. So we're following two young boys who are about 15. The one that is planning and plotting gets them in hot water, and then he leaves the nice friend to take the fall. So the main character ends up as an indentured servant on this island where there are ex-priests who know about the sea monsters that used to exist. So about 14 years in the past, there were huge sea monsters, and then they had a civil war and they ripped each other apart. But when things are salvaged from the deep, it may raise one of those creatures again. And it sounds very interesting, and the ocean parts were very interesting. However, the blurb says this is a friendship between the boys, but actually it is the most toxic relationship I've seen lately portrayed in literature. So I gave it 3.5 stars. Next up is Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. This one I read with Xian from Past Story Time, and we both really enjoyed it. So this is following Mila, who has recently aged out of the foster care system, and she has taken a job at a remote farm on a cliffside, and her job is going to be to tutor the young foster kids that are on this farm. So when she gets there, she realizes that the farm brings to life ghosts from the past, and that everyone at the farm will need to deal with those ghosts in their own way. So this is like a very tender and slow ghost haunting story, if that's your jam. And I gave it 4 stars. I think that it was very soft and sweet, and the reason it only gets 4 though is because I saw a lot of things coming, and it also didn't impact me that deeply. Next up is Destroyer, written by Victor LaValle and illustrated by Dietrich Smith and Joanna Lafuente. So this is a graphic novel Frankenstein retelling that centers Black voices. So the descendant of Victor Frankenstein is a Black woman who's at the top of her field, and she is looking to bring her dead son back to life, and then the original monster is trying to hunt her down. And that's kind of where the story goes. This was great, and I gave it 4 stars. Next up is The Machine by James Smith. This is another one, along with this one, that I read for the mini burst of Frankenstein retellings. This one, when I first started it, I was like, oh no. But then when I got to the end, I was like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So this is following Beth, who lives in a dystopian UK where there has been a massive flood and everything is kind of like run down and not functioning properly. There's been a huge war, and her husband comes home and he has severe PTSD. And the government sells them that there are these black boxes which can take away the bad memories and put in good memories, except in some of these people it causes them to basically become catatonic and can't function anymore. And so then she decides that she's going to work and save her money, buy one of these now illegal black boxes off the black market, and put the memories back in her husband piece by piece herself. Oh my god, it was good. It was so good. It was so creepy. So good, so creepy, and I did not see the end coming. So this one definitely had such a slow start because the author loves tell and doesn't show, and there's almost no dialogue in the beginning because we're just following Beth, but then about halfway through more characters come into the story, so then obviously there's more dialogue, and that's when shit ramped up and got just so good. So good. So I really recommend this, and this was such a surprising read because I expected nothing from it. I think I got it for like $5 in a like bargain bin somewhere a long time ago, and it was so good. The next one, I need you to please keep an open mind. Okay? Okay, so this is Earth Fathers Are Weird by Gala. This one intrigued me because I was like looking for alien romance, and this had super high ratings and was on a recommendations list, and I was like, okay, we'll give it a go. And I did not expect to feel all the things that I felt reading this. This was so good, so weird. So we're following Captain Maxwell, who is like a pilot in the US Air Force, when suddenly 2 huge spaceships come crashing through the stratosphere, and they're having this epic battle, and he goes to defend Earth. And during that, he gets caught up and taken by one of them. And actually the 2 aliens, one was pursuing the other because one was illegal shipping and the other one was like the intergalactic police. So the police just drop Max like in this galaxy trading post, and he has to make enough money to get home to Earth again. And the only job that will like pay enough for him to get home within his lifetime is a job to be a nanny to this alien's children. Instead of being the nanny, he ends up being a surrogate. Okay. So if I'm losing you and you're like, oh my God, what are you reading? Listen. So I cried reading this book because there is so much more than that happens, and it was so tender and so sweet and like gooey warm. So like, I don't even know. I'm still confused about why this book was so good, honestly. I don't know, but please, if you read it, let me know what you think. So next up, let's talk about zombies. So this is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This one I've been saving all year because I didn't get to it last year, and I was determined to read it this year, and it did not disappoint. This is a zombie novel, but in this world they call zombies bone houses. And we're following Rin, who is a professional grave digger, and she also puts down rogue bone houses who happen to wander out of the forest where they're typically like risen from, and they exist and they eat things and kill things. And one night she saves this map maker, Ellis, who happens to be camping in these woods, unaware that there are basically zombies everywhere. So she saves him, and then they're going to set off on an adventure together to track down the source of the magic that is reanimating the corpses. And the end made me cry. It was really good. And there were genuinely some very scary scenes in here. 2 in particular that I can think of off the top of my head, and it has to do with setting. So basically, one was in a village, one was in a pitch black mine, and one was in an underground river in that pitch black mine. And I was like, ah, oh my God. Like, to my husband, I was like, oh my God. I had to read like some romance afterwards because I was so scared that I was gonna have super scary dreams. So yeah, I really recommend this, and I give it 4 stars. Next up has to be one of the books that I thought I wasn't going to like that much, and that really just captivated me the whole way through. This is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is just amazing, honestly. The world building is absolutely wonderful. And massive, very sprawling world building. So if you like a massive fantasy world with a lot of magic systems and different types of people and so many points of view, that was one of the things that I didn't think that I would like, because normally I don't like alternating points of view that much. And in this one, there's 5 or 6. However, it is done so well that I didn't mind at all. In fact, I think it strengthened the novel because the kind of world we're in is so massive that you see things that are happening from different parts of the world, and it was so good. So we're following Lynn, who is the emperor's daughter, and in this world everyone gives the bone behind their ear to the emperor, and when he creates constructs, he uses bone magic using those shards, and he basically drains the life force from whoever shard it is. to make the constructs work. And it's very cool because simple constructs need only 1 or 2 shards, but then like massive, like the head of trade for the empire, if he's a construct, he needs hundreds of those shards. So there are hundreds of people in the empire that are being slowly killed because the energy is being drained from them. So Lynn is trying to figure out her magic, but she has forgotten what's happened like a few years ago because she was sick. So that's one point of view. Another point of view is a soldier trying to protect her lover, who is a woman. Another point of view is a man who is trying to figure out what happened to the love of his life because she was kidnapped. I really loved it, and I will absolutely be reading the next one, and I gave it 4 stars. Now we've gotten to my 4+ stars. So that means a 4+ is like a really high 4, but not quite 4.5 territory. So first one up on deck is Hold Back the Tide by Melinda Salisbury. This is a vampire novel. So we are following Alva, whose father is the keeper of the lake, and his job is to measure water levels at the lake and tell the town when they need to stop like production and industry so that they can have water rise again in the lake. Only no one is listening to the father because industry must go on. And basically Alva is sick of this life and she has been plotting to get out of town, and one of the boys in town has been helping her, slowly helping her gather like bullets and dresses and things she would need to start her new life when something terrible happens. And all I'm gonna say is that the vampires in this book are not sparkly, attractive vampires. They're creepy, they're gross, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't wanna say too much else, but the ending of this completely shooketh me. I didn't think the author would go there, but she went there, and I definitely cried. And the second 4+ is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. Now you might be thinking, wait, weren't you gonna read that for Fortnite Frights? I was, you're right. But then I decided, since I'm having such a great reading month, that I was going to try and not only do a bingo, but do the whole bingo board, the whole thing. So if you haven't seen that TBR, new TBR, the link is down below. It went up a few days ago. So I read this and I finished it this morning, and it was so good. We are basically in a cannibalistic dystopia. Ta-da! We're following Marcos, who works at a special meat packaging plant, which means they process humans, but they're called heads. His journey kind of through life within kind of a year, because a lot of things happen. His young son, his baby son, has passed away, giving him a new outlook on life completely. His wife has left him. His father has dementia and is basically fading away in a nursing home. And then one day, when he basically has yelled at one of their head suppliers, the supplier sends him a gift to thank him, and it's a female pure gen head that he doesn't know what to do with. And let me just say, this book is so dark, both in content and in theme and idea. I can't even say the worst scene, because almost every scene was the worst scene in a different way. It's just like looking at the world through different lenses. One scene was like teenagers killing puppies. That was just in there. There's other scenes where we're seeing how the world is in labs, in factories, in a hunting club where they hunt down deliberately agile or intelligent men or heavily pregnant women and then eat the bodies after. Like, this is so dark. It reminds me a lot of Under the Skin by Michelle Faber, as well as The Wanting Seed by Anthony Burgess. So please definitely know what you're getting yourself into, because I couldn't put it down. I was fascinated, but in the most gruesome, awful, bloody way imaginable. But the reason it gets 4+ stars for me is that I will absolutely never be forgetting this book ever. And my 2 favorite books of the month so far are number 1 and number 2 in a series. So this is From Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. What is that accent? Armentrout. And they were so good. When I tell you I stayed up all night to read them, I mean it. The first one I started leisurely after dinner one night, and then I stayed up till 4 a.m. to finish it. And then immediately the next day I read the second one and stayed up late again. So we are following a maiden named Poppy, and she is chosen from birth basically to ascend, which in this world means you are killed and then the gods bring you back to life to live in the higher echelons of society if you're deemed pure enough. And she is given a new bodyguard named Hawk, and they start to develop like a thing, and it's a problem because she's supposed to be pure and also like, yeah, it's just super against all the rules. But that is only like the first 20% of the first book, and just, I love this book so much because there are so many elements going on. If you like fantasy that isn't afraid to get dark, isn't afraid to kill people, has some vampires, has some werewolves, has some dark creatures that are none of those things but equally scary, has some magic, has some really good sex scenes, like the sexual tension is off the charts. This would be for you, my friends, because I love this book so much and I was squealing over it and geeking out over it that I very kindly asked my husband to read it, and he did because he's a gem, so that I could talk about it with him because I just needed to talk about it with someone. So the reason it gets 4.5 and not 5 is because I did see 2 of the 3 main twists in the first book coming. And I'm always gonna take like half a star off if I can guess it. I love this book so much. I love these books so much. And I think the 3rd one comes out next year. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. I hope I'm right because can't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah, so that finishes up this wrap up. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're gonna read any of these books on my recommendations, and I will talk to you guys in another video soon. Bye!